All right, so let's get started. Welcome to the Profit Lab show and podcast. I'm your host, Marie Torossian, CPA and 10X certified business coach, and I'm so glad you are here. If you're new to the show, go ahead and subscribe and like the channel or the pages that you are watching or listening to us to so that you can get all the alerts when we drop a new episode, which will be every Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern Time. And that's on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Podbean and so many more. So Apple Podcasts as well. So that way you can get to hear every episode we drop off. So glad you're here. So today we are diving into pillar number 4, which is all about upgrading systems and operations. If your business can't run without you, you don't have a business. You have a job. So let's fix that. Okay. So here's a simple test you can think about. Could your business operate for 2 weeks without you? If the answer is no, you have a systems problem. And look, and that's okay. And I know when we are working, in certain businesses, there might be more structure and operations and systems already in place. But when you become a business owner, an entrepreneur, those are the systems that you have to build in. As I recall, when I started my business quite a few years ago, the moment that I realized that I cannot delay, not that I wasn't aware I need to put systems, but the day I realized that I definitely need to build systems, I need to hire people to help back me up, is the day I got super sick. I got a cold. I was out probably like for 3-4 days. And I couldn't, luckily I had really great clients where they understood and they were helpful and understanding that I was sick. But that was a wake-up call for me a while back, that I need to have at least one team member, even if I'm just starting out, just so they can be the backup and continue doing the work and be in communication with the client, and not that everything is reliant on me. So if you get sick today and you need to be out for 2 weeks, is your business going to run without you? So that's the main question. So let's talk about what are systems. Systems are basically documented, repeatable processes that allow your business to run smoothly and consistently, whether you are there or not. So think of systems like a recipe, a cake recipe or a bread recipe, whatever. It's a recipe. Anyone should be able to follow it and get the same results. Make sense? So I want you to think about some of this, massive businesses. Think about McDonald's, all these big businesses that have a set of recipes, processes. And what do? They franchise it out. If those processes and systems and everything is not in place, they can't even franchise it out. If you think about, if you want to sell your business, what's going to be very important and valuable is that you have your recipes and systems in place that someone can purchase it from you and run the business without stopping. So nobody wants to run a purchase a business, and not be able to run it completely in an efficient, systematic way. They don't want to break it down, right? Because you're gone. So you want to build a business that is sellable, that is strong, and is valuable. Okay, so let's go through some of the 7 core systems every business needs. The first one is client acquisition. And again, this is a place for you that, service-based business owners that are doing 750 plus. So a lot of these operational stuff I'm talking about is going to be specific to service-based. There could be more for other business types, but today we're just going to cover 7 of them. So client acquisition being one of them. So client acquisition is like, how do you attract and convert your leads? Where are you getting them from? What are the social media channels or other channels that you are using to bring clients in? If all of that is only in your mind and no one else can actually do the same thing, then everything again, we've talked about this before, is that you're creating a bottleneck. So you want to be able to document what is it that you're doing that's working, right? And then be able to have someone else do the same. So if you bring on board someone to help you with business development, what is it that you want them to do? Are they winging it? Are they just doing whatever they're comfortable doing it? How will you track their progress and their success, right? Number 2 is onboarding. For example, how do you welcome and set up new clients? The way you onboard them is going to make a big difference, right? How do they feel? When you welcome them? How do you introduce them to the team? Who takes over after that introduction? Who sets them up in the back end? Who's their main person to communicate with? If that is not clear, or you're the only one doing it, again, same problem, bottleneck. So you want to be able to have everything systematized, written down, so then somebody else can actually do the work, and then you clear your space and your time to do higher level work, which we talked about last week. If you weren't there, please go back to check out the leverage conversation we had about your time. So go back to episode number 4 to listen to that. Number 3, service delivery. How you deliver your core offering. Is, if there's a specific framework that you use, is it a specific structure you use there? What are key things that you look at, and how can your delivery team actually do the work? So for example, in our case, we have that systematized. We have all the team members, they know exactly what needs to be done. So I don't have to be the only person thinking about, did we do this? Did we do that? Did we complete that? We have a complete spreadsheet. We track everything there, and everybody knows exactly what needs to be delivered to the client at what time frame, and what information do we need, up to even including how do we communicate with client, what each client likes and how do they like to be communicated. We have some clients that love email. Some clients like text messages. So even though we communicate in one main space with all of our clients and team members, sometimes we need to nudge them a bit. So what is their favorite type of communication? So then we nudge them through that channel. So everything has been documented. They understand exactly what needs to be done, so that I don't have to be involved every single step, every minor task. And it frees me up to be able to do higher level work, or go out and find clients, or do this podcast to actually teach you guys, which I love doing. Okay. Number 4, client communication, which kind of, because I was giving the example, it led me through it already. How do you stay in touch and manage expectations there? Do your clients know that, let's say you have a policy of you respond back within 48 hours? Do they expect you to respond within minutes? So are those things set up for them to understand upfront during onboarding? For example, that's something that that has really relieved me in my business from when I first started. Because I was alone, I had to set up a 48-hour policy, unless it's an emergency. And it was mostly via email, of course, text messages as well. But there was that policy because it was just me. And then as I've expanded the team, it makes it a little bit easier for us to communicate overnight, because we're in the same channel. There's multiple people looking at it. So even if we're working in different time zones, we are always able to answer to different questions. And of course, if there is an emergency, they can call in and be able to talk to somebody, or even myself. But at least we have pretty much, I would say, daily communication with our clients. So it's expected. Even though I set that up right front, the expectation of 48-hour response still, in general, we do end up talking quite a lot. So the point is, you want to set that communication systems up right up front, set the expectation, set same expectation on the team, so the team understands what you're expecting from them. I like quick response, and that's something I've told my team internally. I mean, if you see it, just answer to it. Unless you need to do research, then you tell the client, hey, we need to research this and we'll get back to you within the day. But at least the client understands and knows and feels comfortable that we are on top of it. So what is your communication method? How do you communicate with your clients and within your team? And what does that look like? So document that. Number 5, financial management. This is another one where, how do you track your revenue, your expenses, your profit, your full financial systems? What does that look like for you? I did a big project a long time ago for a client where we had to build out the complete policies and procedures and the whole systems that, they probably didn't even have. They kind of had some stuff going on, and we had to document that. That way, when they hire a full-time accountant or team member, they know exactly the steps they have to take. What is the process? So you want to be able to document that as well. Number 6, team management. How do you hire? How do you train and manage your team? That's something that you want to put together as well. Do you, what's the onboarding process? What are the things that they need to sign off up front? What are your expectation of them? What's the success look like for them in your team? So those are things that you want to document and be able to talk to them ahead of time, so you can set your team up for success. You want them to stay with you long term. At least on my end, that's exactly what I want. I've worked in a company where it was a nonprofit, and I would say there was probably, there was someone coming in and out probably every other month, and in different departments. And try to do payroll as a CFO, that looked very, very uncomfortable. So I know firsthand what it costs, literally financially, what it costs to keep losing team members and then hiring new people, time that it costs to find new people, fill in the seat and train them. And then if they leave in a year, especially if they were good ones. So that's something that when I started on my own, I just want team members that I bring it up right up front. What is the mission of what we're doing? And where do I see them down the line? Now, at some point, people have to switch to something else, and that's totally fine. But one thing I've been able to build over time is that everybody that has worked with me stays in touch, and we connect many times even afterwards. So my intention is always to have team members stay a very, very long time and see themselves growing with us. So you want to be able to communicate and set that process up for that success. And the last one is operations and administration. How do you handle behind the scenes work? The daily tasks, daily things that need to be done. How do you set that process up? What does it look like? And then the other thing I have to say, whenever you document that process and then you go through that, and there's going to be, maybe sometimes there could be clunkiness, there's something not working. So this is a great place where something doesn't work. You pull the team and then figure out what is not working. Why is it not working? What can we replace that step with? And then update the records, update your documentation. These types of processes should be updated on an annual basis to see that it's working or not working and what needs to be done next. So it's basically, I would say, it's a living document. It has a life. You have to update it quite often. Okay, so now let's get into how to build a system. So I've broken it down to like 5 steps. So here's how you can do it. So in one of those areas, let's say you were going to work on, first thing, you can document it by writing it down or recording the process step by step. So for example, in our firm, in our business, what we do is we use Loom. And I've been using Loom like a long time ago. Because every time, a team member asks me like how to do something, I just record it and I have them watch it. So I've built over the years, I've built, let's say, how to, and anything that needs to be done in QuickBooks Online. If there's any specific things that I do for each client, I've created those trainings, because if someone is on board, they know it right away. Now we've even gotten to a point of documenting our process when I first have the initial conversation, the initial review of the book. So anything that we're doing, I do it up front, send it to the team reviews it. So when the client needs to be onboarded, they know exactly where to start. I don't have to repeat myself. I don't have to go over it again and again. It's all recorded. So those are 2 ways you can do it. You can document it, write it up, which you can still use, in Word. You can always do the dictate function to talk it out and let it write for you, and you can clean it after, or you can use Loom. And then test it. Have someone else follow your instructions. That's the best way to know if what you're doing is working seamlessly. And I kind of gave the example earlier. And then refine it. Fix any gaps or confusion. If someone's not understanding what you do, maybe it makes sense to you, but it doesn't make sense to them. So that's an opportunity to fix it. Then you train them. Teach your team the system. They train, they replicate, mimic, model, mimic, master. is what we say. So you model it for them, then they mimic it and they master it. So, and then you continuously improve on it, continuously optimize, based on the feedback that comes in, just as the example I gave you earlier. Okay. So as of right now, like when you think about all of these processes and you're like, Marie, there's just so much, I don't know even where to start. So you don't need to systematize every single thing right now. So focus on the 20% of the processes that create 80% of your results, wherever that is. Is it in client acquisition? Is it in delivery? Where do you see that biggest gap? That's where you should focus on first. Start with your most time-consuming tasks, things that you do repeatedly, things that directly impact client experience or revenue. So that's where I would want you to focus first and build that first processes. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to take a moment here. All right. Are you guys getting excited at all about these operations? I get all geeked out about it, but I don't know about you, but that's how I feel. Okay. Now I want to give you, some tools that you could use and consider for updating your operations and or documenting them. So some of the things that we use, obviously a CRM, a client relationship management software, we could really help you out. Go High Level is one, HubSpot is another, and there's obviously so many of them integrated with automations and all of these things. In our business, we use Go High Level as our base. We have an agency model. So we use Go High Level for both our businesses and others as well. And it helps us keep track of our clients, the onboarding, all of that. We track everything in there. Project management, Asana, ClickUp, Monday, these are different ones that track tasks and projects. We internally also use Outlook Teams, which has some type of channels. We create channels per client. All our internal conversations happen there. And we can also use the pipeline as like a way to, manage the project where it is. Automations, like I know the big one is Zapier. You can connect different tools to automate different things. In our case, Go High Level has a lot of the main automations that we use. That's all part of client onboarding or prospecting, lead generation, social media. All the automations that we need is there. Calendar bookings and all the reminders. So everything has been automated at this point. And so we use that. We don't use Zapier, but Zapier is one of the big ones that I know of. So you can use that. Documentation, you can use Loom, like I said, in video format. Excuse me. Loom is a very good one. And it creates, now it has some AI built into, so you can get the transcript, you can get summaries. So there's different things that you can do with it. There's also Google Docs. There's some people that love Notion. I've had a little bit of a hiccup with Notion. So my favorite one is Loom. But in any case, you can find any of these different tools helpful. I would suggest just try them out for a few days and see which one is a best fit for you. And then you can have the team have access so they can help build that out. So I'm going to go ahead and put the direct links to some of the tools that we are using in our businesses, and that hopefully that helps you automate as well in your business. So we're getting close to the close. So I'm going to leave you with your profit question of the week. Are you ready? Okay. What's one process in your business that if you systematize, it would save you 5+ hours per week? We've been talking about time a lot. We talked about it last week a lot. And so this time I want you to think about, what can you systematize? What is something that you're doing randomly and it's taking more than 5 hours per week? And how do you turn that into a system and an automation? All right. So here's your homework for the week. Pick one system to build this month. Start with the one that will save you the most time, like we talked about. Document the process using either video, written steps, or maybe both. And then test it with someone else. See if they can follow it without your help. Let them watch it or read it and actually do the work themselves. See if they can follow along without a hiccup. And if there is a hiccup, that's an opportunity for correction and upgrade. All right. So with that, next week we're going to be talking about elevate pricing and positioning. It's time to charge what you are worth and own your value. Till then, blessings to you and see you next week.